Carolyn, you have so beautifully expressed our feelings and best wishes towards these newlyweds that I couldn't have said it better myself. I, however, would like to take this opportunity to briefly remind everyone of the wonderful characteristics that the bride, my daughter, brings to this marriage. Well, there are far too many to list. I've picked 3 of them to bestow upon family and friends. To take a strategy from a wise mentor who's present tonight, I have chosen those starting with the same letter. That's right. This evening's edition of Jillian's Personality is brought to you by the letter C. The first trait is compassionate/caring. This feature of Jillian was best exemplified when she invited me to spend the weekend in Hamilton during her last semester at McMaster University before heading off to BC. So I did. It was an unseasonably warm Saturday in April, and she suggested that we grab a pizza and head down to the harborfront for a nice lunch, so we did. As we made our way, we passed a government building that looked like an old library with its concrete pillars and sweeping staircase. It had a group of people also taking advantage of the springtime sunshine. As we walked by, I noticed that a stern, intimidating glare was being directed my way. I was feeling uneasy. Their disheveled attire and unhealthy physical appearance suggested that this was the drop-in center for the homeless, including those with drug addictions. Hold it. I wasn't sure how they would engage us, but miraculously, the Norm effect suddenly appeared. What is the Norm effect, you say? It's the beloved by all character from the sitcom Cheers, who at the start of most episodes would enter the bar with all the other patrons shouting adoringly, "Norm!" Consequently, as soon as they recognized Jillian, each one shouted excitedly with a smile on their face now, "Hi, Jillian. Hello, Jillian. Hey, Jillian. Yo, Jillian. What's up, Jillian?" And so on, while she cordially responded with, "Hi, Bob. Hi, Susan. Nice to see you again, Frank," and so on, and so on. "You know all these people?" I said. "Yes," she said. "Don't you remember that I volunteered here on a regular basis to provide medical assistance?" Their cherished response, however, suggested that her role was much, much more, and also included being a friend who they could confide in and trust. Needless to say, I was humbled. Jillian, on the other hand, found the attention too much and scurried off. Now, it was mentioned about, a little sidebar here, that how quickly Nick moves when they're hiking. But I don't know, Jillian is a really fast person. You could be in a room standing beside her and just turn for a second and poof, she's gone. You walk up to her and she says, "I'm just going to go over there." And again, if you turn for a second, she's gone from point A to point B, poof. And there's times where I'm right beside her and she'll go somewhere in the house, up the stairs and down to the other side of the house. I was going to say wing, but our house isn't that big. And I'm thinking, when's the last time I moved as fast as Jillian? Oh, I know. She was 3 and I was a much, much younger man. The second trait is courageous. She loves to bravely take on new challenges and explore various parts of the world. Whether it's Nick introducing her to camping and hunting in the wilderness, Jillian using a firearm, who knew, to having to cope with COVID while traveling in Hawaii. The one trip that embodies this theme is a video of her in a speedboat on some Italian lake, standing at the helm, full throttle, the bow raised high, and with her beautiful hair streaming in the wind. She had that bold look of, "I am Jillian, and I'm ready to conquer the world," as the boat zipped along. Unfortunately, that look differed from her girlfriends who, due to the speed and bouncing waves, were tossed to the back of the boat, desperately clinging to the sides for dear life. The third is creative. Jillian's artistic prowess knows no boundaries. Whether it's drawing, painting, constructing something to hang on the wall, she never ceases to amaze me. A lot of the signage you see all around you today was designed by her. Even her high school art teacher, who after convincing Jillian in her 9 to 11 classes, begged us to convince her to take grade 12 art, but unfortunately any timetable spots were filled with math and science courses required for university. Personally, my office has her creations that usually involve a turtle or a biblical passage that I can always look to for guidance. Well, there you have it. I would like now to conclude with a toast to the blissful couple, but before I do, I wanted to share one more quick story, if I may. And now it's turned into a bit of a rebuttal to what Caitlin had to say earlier. So, when Jillian announced that she was now dating some guy, and a couple months had passed, and we thought, this could get potentially serious. I said to Carolyn, I don't even know what this guy looks like. I don't know anything about him. So Jillian said, okay, I'll fix that. I'll set up a FaceTime thing. So she did. And there was Nick. And I thought, looking to Carolyn, yeah, here's a well-groomed guy. And he spoke to us. He was very articulate and very polite. And it wasn't long before we realized as teachers that we had a lot to sort of talk about and share. And we did, and it evolved into talking about differences between the Ontario and BC education system. And the conversation kept going. I thought, yeah. And it wrapped up, and I looked to Carolyn, I thought, I think that went rather well. And I thought, what a neat guy. I'm really pleased with who Jillian picked. Well, it wasn't long after we discovered that she quickly phoned up Caitlin, I guess to give her the update. And Caitlin must have said, so, how did it go? And Jillian goes, well, pretty good. No. Nick and Dad totally monopolized the conversation. They were talking about shop, teaching this, teaching that. Oh, and about the environment, about flora and fauna of British Columbia. I didn't get a word in edgewise. And in true Caitlin-esque fashion, her older sister turned to her and said, face it, Jillian, you're dating Dad. So there, Caitlin. So, if you'd like to raise a glass, Nick and Jillian, may your hearts always be as one, and may your lives be filled with infinite love, laughter, and beautiful memories. Cheers.